Welcome to April's Garage, and Volkswagen can't seem to catch a break, and this one is pretty intense.
Catch a break meaning they're having a run of bad luck or whatever. No, they're making really bad decisions lately. But this one is really bad. Basically, everybody driving a Volkswagen in Europe has had their GPS tracking their every single move, which we all know that. Every car that's a GPS in it, they probably know where we're going. But Volkswagen had it out on a cloud for anybody to see for months. Anybody could access it and see which cars were in which place. And even worse, you could see who owned the car. It had their name, their address, their phone number. So this news outlet, Spiegel, discovered this. And they were able to go in and say, okay, this is a known brothel right here. This is a house of ill repute. And they had record of every single Volkswagen that stopped there. And they could click and see the names attached to it. And then you could Google those people and see if they're married, see if they're a politician, see who the heck they are.
I just didn't see, Volkswagen people going in that direction. I kind of was judging them not to go there.
But literally they could do, because they're not like ransomware people or whatever, like finding this information and like holding it hostage for people. Like they didn't go into specifics.
But I could see Lamborghini owners, Jeep owners, the Wranglers and all that stuff. Like
only electric vehicles, but this is hundreds of thousands of electric vehicles. So EV owners going, okay, they went to the dirty store and anywhere.
Right.
Every single move was tracked, and who the heck knows? They don't know if people are using this maliciously for anything, but for months, anybody had access to it. There was very little security to get through the cloud to see all of this.
Right.
And
I guess I kind of feel weird when you're in Chicago and they have the stoplight cameras or there's just speeding cameras and they're tracking where you are, and then they send you a letter in the mail and you're going down this road at a certain time, which is fine, but I also felt like it was a little bit like, why are you following me and you have all this information about me? It seemed a little sketchy where, you're obviously old school, you get pulled over by a police officer. Now there's cameras everywhere recognizing everything that you're doing. This is something that I thought Tesla kind of always had locked in, like they know where everyone is. I know when we were at SEMA, I was at I think it was the Valvoline booth. And they were telling me, we know exactly everyone who's walking by the booth with a geolocating tag. No, they tag your phones. They understand and they connect with your phones, and they have some software recognition. When you walk by with your smartphone, they know, hey, we've got a lot of people from the Midwest walking by the booth, or a lot of people from the East Coast. Maybe we need to advertise on the West Coast now. And they're tracking all of that information. So everyone knows where you are and what you're doing, and it's very creepy.
Well, the reason for all this tracking with these new cars, as far as like that much data being stored, was for the new battery technology and to figure out how things are working and all that stuff. But it didn't get hacked. They just forgot to put in a password.
Stop it.
That's what's so crazy and stupid about this. And like Volkswagen, rather than like building a diesel to conform with new emissions regulations, they cheated. And didn't think that they would get caught. Like this is over 10 years ago now. But there's just something going on in middle management or middle upper management where it's just so stupid. I don't understand it at all, where they make these really unforced errors, and it just makes absolutely no sense. But I think I'm all scared with the phone, phone thing. Like I got tin foil and wrap this around or whatever.
You need a tinfoil hat, tinfoil your phone. Everything's being documented.
Yeah,
you can't get away with anything anymore. If you're driving to the brothel, massage, whatever, happy ending, you're gonna get found out.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about my Google search history, because I look for weird stuff. Like, and I'm sure, when I was in my 20s or my teens, and like Google was a thing. Like the things that I searched out of curiosity. It'd be mortifying. Like at that, like here's Tyler's entire Google search history, and I
just can't imagine.
Not to be transphobic.
I just where are you going with that?
So early in my internet career,
I'm so worried.
That wasn't a career. Early in my internet discovery, when I went to a site of ill repute, and I didn't know what.
Are you sure you should be telling this story?
I didn't know what a transvestite was, so the picture loaded and it looked like as the picture loaded towards the bottom, it was a revelation. So that is in my Google search history forever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just anyway. I mean, you want to explore things on the internet. I don't know.
No, it makes sense, and I get what you're saying, and it's going to be imprinted forever.
I'm confessing now because everybody's gonna have, like, I can see my Google's history sometimes, so I might as well start confessing all of it now. So,
would you
so you know?
Would you let someone
What's the
look at
weirdest thing you Googled?
Would you let someone look at your Google history?
Absolutely not.
Right now.
No.
Like as of this
I don't even know
past
what's on
year,
there.
like let's say they want to look back to 2024. Let's look at your history. It's still kind of crazy off the charts.
I don't know.
I'm going to say yes. That face said yes.
I don't, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what, like, I Google weird stuff.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like
yes.
everyone does, though. It's not just you. Everyone does. Anyone has a question, some new cool word that, like, you know, everyone's talking about, and you're like, what
when
is
you're
this?
out of town, I Google you and your images because
Will
I
you
miss you.
stop it? Well, then that's okay.
But, like, maybe I'll find some April Rose article or some video that I haven't seen of you before, and then it's like you're around and it's something new. So, like,
See?
I'm weird. Yeah.
We'll get through this together. Hopefully, we won't get canceled, and we'll have a show, April's Garage, in the future. We'll see what happens. I mean, I expect you to do weird things because of your waffle story.
Oh yeah,
Where you-
yeah. Pete under the table with the waffle. Yes.
Yeah. There's if you watch our past Good Morning YouTube, you'll hear lots of adventure stories of Tyler along the way of growing up, and I think you ended up okay.
Like I peed underneath a waffle maker one time. Oh, that's random. But I was waiting in line for a waffle iron, and I had to pee so bad.
Was this
but I
like
wanted
last
this waffle.
year?
No, I was a child. I want this waffle so bad, but I have to pee. Finally got up to the front. I was not going to make 3 minutes. So I thought the table was skirted. I'll go underneath the buffet table, pull down my pants, pee. Nobody will notice, and then I'll come back up and get my waffle and be fine.
I can't handle you right now.
So then I do that. Somebody obviously looks to see what I'm doing underneath this table. And I'm not like the Thomas Crown Affair at all, slipping and doing this. I just like ran under the table, pulled down my pants, and started going. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? There's wires from the waffle maker, everything else. They thought I was doing something dangerous. I peed under there, came back up, but then my grandparents had come over, and they're like, what the heck are you doing? I got dragged away and didn't get my waffle.
What? You did not?
I never got the waffle.
Someone send him a waffle, please.
So they took me to the bathroom, and I had nothing left at that point, and then I think we left, and I didn't get my waffle.
I can't take you.
So I was a very weird child.
But yeah, your history, the documentation of everything you've done online, the digital imprint, it's always going to be there. Like our DNA and our genetics are, you know, if you want to commit a crime, forensic scientists are going to find your DNA, and now computer DNA, it's always going to be in your search history.
Nobody knows where you're going and what you're doing in a Buick Grand National, though. That's why she has a Buick Grand National. Like, sometimes the Buick Grand National gets out. Maybe that's when April is doing something she shouldn't be doing.
Right?
Is that why you get the car out? Is it analog? There's no tracking on it?
The best car to drive. It's one of my favorite cars to drive, and it's sexy. I just feel bad putting miles on it. Mm-hmm. But there's no tracking in it. But all these newer cars, yeah, there's going to be a lot of tracking.
So that's the thing. Every time we download an app on our phone, we're consenting to them knowing everything about us, pretty much.
Right.
Same with buying a car. We're consenting for them to know so much about us when we buy a car. Like, and just using our computers, using apps, using Google, like they know so much about us.
Well, even going through the airport now in TSA, they don't even need your boarding pass. They just want your ID. They take a picture of you every time you go through TSA.
But imagine if Google had everybody's search history out on the open with no password, or maybe the password was password or 1234 or something like that, to go in and look up Tyler Hoover's search history on Google. And
can someone leak that, please?
Oh my God. Well, what's the weirdest thing you searched for on Google, you think?
I don't know. I know before Barrett Jackson, I Googled pretty much every single thing about every single car that goes through there and obsessively study, but that's not weird. No. I can't admit my craziness to you. I gotta keep a little mystery here going on. Right?
Yeah.
I did not Google trans, though. That's something I did not Google.
No. You do mention swings a lot.
We're going to get so much trouble. Thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry. I apologize.